All right, so I think everybody should be able to hear us now from this moment onwards. So if anybody joins the stream, they can hear you and they can hear me. So I always start off the streams with a hello everybody and welcome to the stream. And here today with me on the stream we have ChunkYony. He is another YouTube chunker. I've just received notification. Very good. I've received notification that we are live. Isn't that just lovely? So hello to everybody who joins or watches this in the future. Also, I hope you can hear Yoni very well in the thing. Let me see. Maybe I'll turn the sound up a little bit just so his voice is a little bit louder. Let's get that a bit louder. And I'll turn the sound of RuneScape down a bit so it doesn't interfere. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to get a level in this stream. That guy is all gold. He's wearing some gilded armor, I think. So, Yoni, are you streaming as well?
No, I unfortunately can stream from work, but
Ah, you're at work. I see.
yeah, I'm at work at the moment. This is where most of the grind happens. At work.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of my grind on the train.
Okay.
I on my way to work or the way home from work, I'm doing a lot of my grind. I forgot to
How
start
was
my.
that? Like what's the time between the trips?
Um, I mean, it depends. The longest ones are about an hour and a half, 2 hours on the train each way. So,
Okay.
I can get a good 4 hours in just on the train. And then when I have no students or classes where nobody's really paying attention, then yeah, I can kind of grind a bit under the table with my phone while nobody's watching.
That's
So
good.
yeah, I get quite a bit of grinding in, with my work stuff. But yeah,
Here, I mean, I get to work and I do what I need to do, and then I just sit down on the desk and I'm here for 8 hours playing RuneScape.
sounds like the life.
Sounds like the life, right?
Sounds pretty good. Yeah.
It does sound pretty good.
I mean,
And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, when I do get home, that's where I have like the powerhouse, the PC, where I do all the editing and all the other fun stuff that my laptop can handle.
Yeah, well, so you're using your own laptop at work, is that's how it is?
Yes, yes.
I see. Yeah, I don't actually have a laptop at the moment, um, but I think I probably should get one. It might make it easier to do some of the grind at work.
It's definitely a helper. Yes, it helps out quite a bit.
Hmm. How long does it usually take you to edit up your videos, Yoni? Because your videos are pretty nice. I mean, you got some really cinematic sort of stuff going on. Mine are kind of just flat garbage, but must take you fair few hours to do that.
Yeah, well, if you don't mind, I would like to take it back to like when I first started doing YouTube, like 6 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, so that's when I started, right? And I had like no idea what I was doing, and I was just uploading like the raw footage, right? I
Ah,
wasn't
yeah.
editing anything out. And then a few years later, like I started and then I'll drop it, and then start again, I'll drop it again.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, and towards the end, before the last time I dropped it, is when I started getting into like a little bit of editing and
Mm-hmm.
using a few of the softwares and stuff like that. And to be honest, they're all kind of expensive.
Ah, yeah,
Um,
they are. They are.
yeah, they're all kind of expensive. So the latest one that I'm using now, and
Hmm.
honestly, I would recommend it to anyone that wants to to get into like this YouTube thing and edit the videos. It's a Filmora 11.
Okay.
It's a really good, easy, simple software to use to edit. And
Yeah.
honestly, everything they have there, it tends to be um, really easy to find and really easy to use.
Okay. How much?
Uh,
Approximately? How much did it cost you?
it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's 50 a year,
50 a year. That's not bad.
which is pretty cheap compared to um, like Sony Pro or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah. Those are just insane. Um, you'd almost want to get your pirate hat out and you know
That's pretty
do a little bit of
expensive.
naughty downloads for something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, ever since I got this software, it's been like insanely simple to edit, and I honestly recommend it to anybody that wants to start editing. It's super fun to do it, and every time that you find something new that you learn through the software,
Yeah,
it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding.
yeah. I mean, my software is pretty old. I got many years ago um, when I was traveling a lot. I bought editing software because I knew that I'm not going to show it, like everything I do when I go traveling. I'm not going to if I take a long video, most of it's going to be shit, and nobody cares
Right.
about that. And if I want to show somebody what I've seen or what I've done on vacation or where I was traveling or whatever, I should at least be able to cut it down and at least show just the good parts. And I bought Cyberlink Power Director 12. I think they're on like 19 or 20 or something now. It's really old, but I still had that, and I thought, well, I'll just use that. I don't have to pay any money because I already bought it a long time ago, and it's okay, but it's old and it's slow and it's kind of they haven't updated it, of course, in many years, so
Right.
it's not the greatest, but it works. Uh,
Get the
well,
job done. Yeah.
yeah, for now. And eventually, when I do become the next PewDiePie, it's coming up. I'm only a few subscribers off of that. When that happens, I will buy a new computer and do proper editing. But just a couple more subscribers and I'll get there.
Yeah, you're halfway there, man. You're almost there.
Almost,
Almost there.
almost. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and then you'll be just up behind, and then it'll be some kind of like YouTube drama where we're fighting each other for subs or something. Have to Then we'll have to go to the wilderness and kill each other, and whoever wins gets to keep all the subs,
That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny.
and the other person has to quit RuneScape forever.
Yeah.
Hey,
uh,
we got somebody in the chat. Hello, Austin. We've just so you know, we got here ChunkYony. He's another chunker. He's also on YouTube. If you want to check him out in the near future, please go ahead. I've put a link to his channel in the description of today's live stream, so he is there, and I'm talking to him as well. So he's here.
yeah. Hi guys. How you guys doing? Um,
Yeah.
but going back to what we were talking about how like you asked me about
How long it takes?
how
Yeah.
how long it takes. It takes. I tend to record little clips here and there
Yeah.
throughout the weeks, depending on like what achievements I get or like what skills I get, and then I tend to pass those clips to my PC,
Mhm.
and then there I sit down for I want to say roughly like 6 hours to
Oh, okay.
completely edit and like flush out exactly how I want it, even though it's not perfect because
Yeah.
it's never gonna be perfect. Because once you finish a video and you upload it, you always like, damn, I could have done something better here, you know, or like I wish I knew how to do this so I could put it in the video, which I will touch on that later. But Yeah, it takes about 6 hours or so. Sometimes less, sometimes more, depending how long like
Six
each
hours,
clip
yeah.
is.
I think my most recent video took about 6 hours as well. That was quite long. Thanks,
Right.
Austin, for letting me know that it was hard to hear him. I've just tried turning up the volume a bit. Tell me now when you listen to Yoni's voice, tell me if he's easier to hear now. Please let me know. Because I can't, I mean, obviously I'm not going to be able to listen to the stream and to the game and to Yoni and everything at the same time, so I can't really tell exactly what's loud enough or not, unfortunately. I wish I was smart enough to do stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I think my last video took about 6 hours, and I ended up having some trouble because my software, the software I have for editing the videos, like I said, it's old. It gets the job done barely. Like sometimes it struggles. Sometimes, I mean, I had one point recently. I had to edit the video into 3 parts and then try and use the
Wow.
software to merge the 3 parts together. But when I did that, the software said, no, 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 I don't like that. It's too much. It's too much work. And if I have to merge those together, they're all going to be just still frames, and then the video wouldn't play, but the audio would. So you just have
Right.
like 4 or 5 minutes of a single frame with just me talking over it and the sound of the game in the background. And I tried so many different ways to get that video to work, and it just would not work with my garbage old software. So unfortunately, that video never saw the light of day. And people were asking me for quite a while in the comments of my YouTube channel saying, "When's your next video coming?" I said, "Look, I'm editing it and I'm trying to get it going, but it just doesn't want to render, doesn't want to go." And in my most recent one, finally it rendered, everything went well, and then I found out later on through some of the YouTube comments that the numbers on my list of like what things I have to do still, the numbers didn't show up. Where I was saying like I have to
Mm.
get this level in herb lore and that level in crafting and so on, and the numbers just didn't show up on the screen. I was like, shit. Oh well. But yeah, like you said,
It's
it's never going to
unfortunate.
be perfect. So
Yeah, unfortunately, it's never gonna be up to your own standards, even though you're the one that's putting out the video. If that
yeah,
makes any sense.
yeah, no, exactly. There's always going to be something that you're going to think, oh, I wish I could have done something else.
Yeah. But look, now that I'm looking here, the Filmora plans,
Yeah.
the one that I have is 50 a year, which is honestly a great price for everything that it brings.
And by the way, everybody who's watching, this video is sponsored. No, it's not.
Like pretty funny. Um, so also talking about like the editing and whatnot. I said I was gonna touch on later. So there was something recently that I learned through just uh, the software
Experimentation.
itself, and it was that how sometimes you can have a text or like a question mark, like how I had it in the video,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
follow a character.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, so I learned that, and that was so rewarding having learned that because that's something that I've always like. How do people do that?
I wish I could do that because my software is too old. It doesn't have the ability to do that. So I have to spend, like, the last time I tried to make text or anything follow something in the game, it took me like 6 hours. It
It
took me
takes
like,
a while. Yeah,
yeah, because
yeah.
I had to manually
Frame
um,
by frame. Yep.
yeah, frame by frame follow the character along the screen with that. Oh, Austin, thank you for letting me know. He's a little louder but still hard to hear. Okay, I've turned them all the way up. I hope I don't break your ears because I've done that before with one of my videos.
Yeah. Sorry if it's too low. It's probably because I'm on my laptop. And my laptop mic doesn't really pick up too much um, noise, but it could also be the OBS.
yeah, I have a lot of trouble with OBS because I don't know how to get it to make the quality of my videos better and things like that. It's the streams anyway. The streams are pretty bad quality. So I apologize about that. The audio is fine, but the video is pretty crap, and I've tried turning up the quality and all that in the settings, but nothing changes. So, you know.
We can touch on that later if you want. I can help you out with those
Yeah,
settings.
that might be good. All right, I'm just about to hit a level up. How's your leveling? Oh, there we go. Thank you, Austin. Much better, he said. He says the sound's good now. Great.
Okay, good.
How's your leveling coming along right now with your range? So everybody who's going to watch this in the future, or people who are watching this right now, Yoni is going for 99 ranged in the ranging guild. He started in Sears Village, I believe, in the middle.
Sears Village, yeah.
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 Like by the bank, right?
Yeah, that whole chunk covers the bank and covers the bar next to it.
Yeah.
And that where the yew trees are at as well.
Where the yew trees are, right? So yeah, and so he's already done a lot of wood cutting and everything, but he's unlocked the ranging guild chunk, and he needs to get 99 ranged, and he's now at 89. Did you say, or 90?
Oh, I wish. No, I was 80. I'm 84 right now.
84.
Yeah, I should be 90 in a week or so.
Okay, so he's coming along quite well. He's catching up to me. I'm at 90 attack and 90 strength. I'm only 300k off both levels to 91, so that's not too bad. I think it's from 90 to 91 is something like 600k each, so I've done about half of each of those levels, which is not bad.
Something like that.
I'm just going to right now use my Jack of Trades to get 75 Herblore. Look at that, guys.
Congrats, dude.
And that means I can now clean Torstal. And it's a level for Plague's End. So look at that. One day in the future,
in the near future,
I can go all the way to Prif.
Oh man, it would be so crazy to unlock Prif.
I mean, by that time, if I'm not 200 mil XP in every skill, I mean, that's not going to make any sense. There's so many things to do all the way up to there, and there's so many chunks in between.
Yeah, I know. There's like I guess I like to call them like god chunks that will give us like an increase like spike on like power boost.
Yeah.
And I think Pref will be like one of those god chunks if we were to unlock those, because
I mean, there's just so many things there. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
Unfortunately, it's like too late. Pref would be way too late. You know, it would be one of those things that by the time we do actually ever unlock Pref.
Austin was like, "There's a Pref at your daughter's wedding."
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah, she's 3 now, so that sounds about right. When she gets married, I mean, I might just have unlocked the chunk. You know, I won't have started any of the tasks, but I would have just unlocked the chunk. Probably by the time she has her first child, or her second child, probably even. Then I can maybe start on the tasks there. You know, we'll see how that comes along. And then I can pass down Chunkert, you know, through the family like an heirloom.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Please take care of him in his adamant armor.
Oh my god.
He's gonna be dressed like this for the rest of his life. He's never gonna upgrade. Either that, or I'll keepsake his look that he has right now. No matter what armor he has, he's always gonna look like this.
Your armor is now one with his skin.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost hard to imagine him without it.
You should buy
keepsakes.
Keys,
Keepsake keys. Yeah, just make him look like that forever.
Look, yeah.
It's a good idea. While we're on the stream, let's have a quick look at my bank. What have we got? I have now... Oh yeah, I have some bad news. Sad news, I should say. Not bad news, but sad news. I did hit the rare drop table again. Yay!
Oh,
I got 2 phasmatite stone spirits.
oh, dude.
Yeah, I was sad. I was like, I killed something, and I was like, hey, I've never seen that before. It came up in my drop log. First time ever in my drop log. Damn
That's
stone
so
spirit.
sad.
Oh, it's the worst. It could have been a dragon spear, which is what I would really
It
love
could,
to have.
yeah, could have been that dragon spear.
But here I am with stone spirits. I can't even mine anything except for rune essence. Like that's the only thing I have. I only have essence, and I got all of these different stone spirits in my bank. And it's not really that much. I only got like 2 or 3 of most of them. 26 adamant stone spirits and 10 rune, but still pretty sad. Pretty sad, yeah. The long bones are coming along nice, 122.
That's gonna
Uh,
be a big chunk of a construction experience once you turn that in. Wait, is that curved bones or is that the long bones?
that's the long bones. Long bones is 122, and then only 12 curved bones. Hey there, Chubbs, you're on. I got a guy who's always in my friends chat called Chubbs. He's just joined the live stream. Thank you for joining, mate.
Welcome, welcome.
And then we're doing a team live stream at the moment here, guys. Here with ChunkYony. Please check him out in the future or right now if you have the time. We have the salvage here in the bank. What do we got? Almost 1,000 of pretty much everything that's below mithril.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
bank is very organized.
I always organize my bank. I hate not knowing where shit is. And
Man, I've seen some people's banks
yeah, me
on
too.
some videos and it gives me PTSD.
Yeah, it's absolute trash sometimes. And I just think to myself, how do you find your stuff? I have people who, when they use their bank, they have to use the search function to find stuff.
That's the worst.
Oh, it's terrible. I can't handle it. You know, I'm autistic, and when I see that, I just think to myself, that person's not autistic at all. Like, there's no way that person has autism. But yeah, now let's have a look at the melee. Well, actually, I've put melee, but it's actually weapons tab. It's not bad. 801 dragon defenders in the bank, and I have one equipped, which is pretty good. All these black weapons, a lot less than you'd think, really. I would have expected after 41k kills to have a good,
Yeah, a lot more
500 or so
knives.
of each,
Oh
but
yeah,
but the
yeah,
knives
for real.
the knives are pretty decent. Down here we have the 27.5k main hands and then the 27k off hands. Pretty decent.
That's
I've been
pretty
getting
good.
some mithril and adamant arrows from Cyclosis, but again, they're not really all that many. 148 mithril, 110 adamant. I've made all of the bolts with the tips on them, with the different gemstone tips, but I don't have any rune bolts, so I can't put the dragon bolt tips on. So I've just made the bolt tips as part of my thing. I've got to make everything that's possible to make. So
Right.
made the tips. That's pretty good. Oh, somebody just died. With a total level of 1,167, Waltree died for the last time. Rest in pieces.
I don't know if those deaths are like on
Some of them
purpose
some of
or
them are on purpose. Some of them you see somebody who's got like a completely maxed hardcore Ironman, they die to like a ghost or something. So they've just let themselves die. Let's have a quick look at the value of my knives. The black knives and the offhands together is almost 38 mil. So that's a good, more than
it's a lot.
30%. More than 30% of my wealth is just black knives, which is pretty good.
I wonder if you can sell all of that to the shop without dropping in price.
Oh no, because at the shop they're only worth how much? 11 GP, I guess. Oh, well, that's
Oh
the
Lord.
elk value. Let's go see. Let's go see how much Mr. Slayer Man is going to buy them for. I always forget his name. Turiel. Turiel is his name. Let's trade him. How much will he buy a black knife for? 5 GP each. Yeah.
That's even worse.
maybe not a good idea. I guess it's
No.
the low alk value. I probably is it the low alk? Yeah, I'm guessing so. Let's have a look. And then I have been building up herbs still. I have got a fair number of herbs. Armor. The only important one here is the Cyclopean helmets. 323 of those, which is pretty good because it's yeah, Black Knives Matter. That's a nice slogan there. We have what is it? 1 in 50 kills. About approximately 1 in 50 kills is a Cyclosis. And then 1 in 3 or 1 in 4, I'm guessing about 1 in 4 kills will give me a helmet. So doing the math, I don't know how much that is, but it's a lot. Because I don't do math. And then Slayer tab hasn't changed. Food tab, 63 sharks. One day I can do some bossing.
Yeah, that's also something that I'm really, really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Bossing the chunk account.
I mean, I'm really hoping that I do go north and not south with my next chunk unlocks, and then I head towards the God Wars dungeon, because if I can go to the God Wars dungeon, like, that would be an intensely long grind, so many bosses. No, I haven't maxed my gnome ball yet, I'm sorry. I'll do it one of these days. It doesn't take that long, but I'll do it one of these days. I won't do it on stream because that's just going to be the most boring thing ever. But yeah, I mean, I want to go to the God Wars dungeon. So many bosses to kill, so many drops to get. That would be intense. Like, by the time I finish that, probably, I'd guess we'd have reached the heat death of the sun by the time I get to the end of the God Wars dungeon. So,
yeah,
like, you know, couple of billion years, something like that. Just a small.
Let me see. We have what? We have the 4 generals. We have
yeah.
We next, and then we have Angel of Death.
Yeah, well, Angel of Death is going to fall underneath the same category as what's his name? The big dude under the earth. What's his name again? What's that dude in this just north of Falador? What's his name?
North of Falador?
North of Falador, yeah. He's under the Invention Guild area.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I forget his name too.
Yeah, well, that guy. Like I said,
yes.
he and Angel of Death and a couple of other bosses are just.
Virago, there we go.
Virago, that's the one. Virago, yeah. They all fall under the meat grinder category, where, like, walking in there is just a waste of time. I mean, if my viewers and everybody else, if they say, well, you got to go in there and at least try, just so I can lose my hardcore status, like, it's fine. I don't really care. But I mean, I think it kind of goes against the spirit of the idea of the chunk account to just kill yourself for no reason. I get the idea, like, go and do all of the things, you know, get all of the drops, absolutely, but to walk in there for literally no reason, because there's no way I could ever kill Virago, like, absolutely no way.
Yeah, I think, like, those group bosses, because that's what they are. They're group bosses. They're like raids practically, if you want to think about it like that as well. They should be time gated.
Oh, absolutely, and not only that, like, I think they should even be possibly. I'm thinking of gating them on how many other chunkers are available. Like, because eventually we will meet other chunkers, right? Like, there's. Lee is down in Falador at the moment. He's unlocked. He's actually unlocked the Virago dungeon. He's unlocked the Invention Guild, right?
Yeah.
Who else is there? One Chunky. He's down in Southern Tavali, so he won't be far off. There's Chunkman 1927. He's also down in Tavali. He's not far off. You're only in Sears Village, which is also not too far, actually. It's just
Not too
across,
far, no?
yeah, just across White Wolf Mountain, so you're not that far off. Who
Yeah.
else have we got? Gnome,
Uh,
but Gnome, he's gone south from the Gnome stronghold down into Ardi, so I don't know.
real booty. That will be the next one. I think he has like almost a maxed out account.
Oh yeah, Real, but he's got Southern Tavily as well. So he's not too far off. So I mean, I think if we ended up with 5 or 6 of us at somewhere like Virago, I'd say okay. Providing that everybody goes together, we do our chunk man bossing. That would be cool. I'd be totally down for that. But I'm not up for the idea of people saying, oh well, you are in the location where you can do something, so you should. Shit, I placed a marker. So you should go in there and just get killed by Virago, or just go in there and get killed by Angel of Death. Like it's a waste.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, in any case, we were looking at the bank after we went off on a tangent, which is fine. Got a lot of pure essence. You can see my mining level's already 41 when I only needed 30. So thumbs up to me. Ton of gems. This leprechaun hat has been amazing. Amazing. I have 178 sapphires, 94 emeralds, 88 rubies, 34 diamonds, and 4 dragonstones. I had 5. I did cut one of the dragonstones into tips. So 5 dragonstones so far. It's great. It's incredible.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, okay, what can I say? 41k kills. And it's what's that? 300, almost 400. So what's that? One every 100 kills, approximately. That's not bad.
That's pretty good. That's not bad. That's not bad. I wish I had mobs that did drop something from the rare drop table.
Yeah, it would have been
or
nice.
Had access to it. Yeah.
Especially with the giant bats, would have been nice for you.
Ah, it would have been so sweet. But I literally have no mobs that are attached to the rare drop table.
But you're also an extreme, right?
Yes, I'm also an extreme.
So that means I don't know about your rule set. Are you going to process rare drop table drops?
As in, like, if I get it, I need to go for it?
Yeah, so like, for example, I got the rune arrowheads, and I have access to feathers, and I have access to arrow shafts. So I'm forcing myself to get 75 fletching to make the rune arrows. But the arrowheads are from the rare drop table, right? So like, some people have said it's not a requirement, but I feel like I have it, and I have access to all of the pieces to make the arrows. So I might as well go get it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if I have that in my rules, but I think that by the time that I do get like a roll on the rare drop table, I'm already gonna have the skills way above that to craft anything or fletch anything. Well, like the crafting is now, still level 2, but
I mean, like crafting.
That's probably something that I should.
Crafting, I got the molten glass, so I need to get to 87 crafting because of the molten glass.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's quite rough.
That is pretty rough. Yeah, because you need to. Is that what the last level for glass is? 87.
Yeah, to make the light orb, the little light bulb that you use in the goblin cave stuff.
Empty light bulb. Orb. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's 87. That's the last one. So, I mean, I'm already at 57, so it's not so bad, but it's still 3.7 mil XP that I need.
Is that something that you need to hold off your roll for, or you can roll?
I'm thinking it will, but at the same time, I'm kind of hoping that the time I still need for attack and strength. So I still need 7.5 mil in each of those. I also still need 4.2 mil magic XP because I need to get 88 magic.
Okay.
Same thing, herb lore. I need 89 herb lore because I have all of the ingredients for a extreme strength potion, and that's not even with the rare drop table. That's without the rare drop table. I have all those ingredients, so that's kind of a must. And then, I have of course the 75 fletching, but I'll have that soon. Fire making, I need 65 because I got U logs from the rare drop table. And I also need 60 cooking because I caught I can't remember if it was a gourmet imp or a baby imp, but I caught one of them and they gave me spices, so I have to make a curry. That's 60 cooking. So I have all of these grinds to go, and I'm hoping that the time it takes me to finish all of those grinds will give me enough Jack of Trade tomes as well as Troll Invasion tomes to get the levels I need in like crafting and herb lore. If I can't get them and I finish every other grind, I might say, well, I'll make those a passive sort of grind that I have to still get, but I don't have to put off a roll. But I have a lot of grinds.
Yeah, no, you definitely, you started in a very rough chunk.
Yeah, and I didn't actually even consider what I was doing when I started the chunk. I started the game and I completely forgot that they had changed everything, because they've changed the tutorial stuff about 4 or 5 times, there was a thing, there was Tutorial Island, and there was this dragon killing thing underneath Lumbridge, and then there was another one where you're doing this thing killing these dudes in Lumbridge, these 3 dudes in the catacombs, and all that kind of stuff, and I completely forgot that you start the game in Berthorpe. And I started the game and I thought, I have to start recording from the moment I make the account, because if I don't do that, people are going to go, hey, you might have done X, Y, or Z before starting, like you might have done something that you shouldn't have done. So I thought I don't want to have any kind of misunderstanding that I'd done something I shouldn't have. And so I thought I'll start recording from here, and I ended up in Berthorpe, and at Berthorpe I was like, oh shit, okay. Alright, I guess I'll start from here then. I was totally... Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, no, you go ahead.
Yeah, actually, before I started the account, there was another guy here in the Chunk Discord that he has started in Lumbridge, and he also has started a series about it. And I was like, well, I don't want to go and start in the same chunk that he's starting if he's gonna make a series out of it, because I also want to make a series out of it.
Do you know who that was?
Oh man, I spoke with him like 2 weeks ago.
Is he in the chunk? Okay, is he in the chunk thingy clan?
I'm not sure if it's in the clan, but I know he's in the Discord.
Ah, okay.
So I think he left like relatively early. Like he only put out one video, I think, and then he stopped making videos because he had some family stuff, some family issues and stuff. I don't want to say it, but
yeah, of course.
He had
some stuff to do.
With his life. Yeah, and he told me that he wanted to come back, but he just didn't have the time.
Yeah.
To record and edit and all that stuff, which is understandable. But
yeah,
I did look at Lumbridge, and then I did also look at Berthorpe, but then I saw you make a series about it in Berthorpe, and I was like, well, damn, I can't start here either. So then I just sat down and started thinking, like, what would be a very cool, unique place that not many people have started either in OSRS or RS3. And I was like, Sears Village seems to be, a very boring, unique place that nobody is ever gonna, start in without realizing that I need to get 94 woodcutting, and the Ranger Guild was right there, and the fire making guy was literally south of it. And
Yeah.
then the fletching guy was also, just like you, just jumped in this without even realizing like the crazy grinds that we were gonna embark in once
Yeah.
we roll like 2 chunks. And man,
I
that
completely forgot
was
that the Warriors Guild even existed. And then on top of that, I knew that the Herblore grind was there. I knew it was there. But for some reason, I had the opinion that the first chunk wouldn't have any Herblore grind, which was correct. But I also
Mhm.
had some kind of idea that there was a Herblore shop further north of the guy with the cape. Like I was thinking, well, if there's a guy there, it shouldn't be a problem because I'll have a whole bunch of other stuff to do in these first chunks before I ever go down, and I can just buy out the Herblore shop every day. And by the time I get there, even if I only have to make like, you know, really crappy potions, like level 1, level 3 potions, if
Yeah.
I have like, 600k of them, that's going to be fine because I'll have all these other grinds that will be around. Like I was thinking I'd have like more agility grinds and stuff because of the troll stronghold stuff north of me, but I can't access those. And so I was thinking I'll have all these grinds and I'll just buy out the Herblore shop every day. And so that's why in my very first video, when I made my list, I was like, oh well, if there's 100 something, some skill that goes to 120, that's too bad. I'll just have to get it. That's just how it is. And I was thinking to myself, I'm so smart. I'm so smart. There's there's no way that the 120 Herblore grind is ever going to be that bad because I'll have all of these things, and there was nothing there. And then I'm like, oh shit, okay. Well, I've started on it now, and even now though, I still don't think that the Herblore grind is going to be that bad. It's going to suck. It's going to be really long, but
Yeah, it's really good. It's not really long. Yeah.
but I still don't think it's going to be like. I don't think it's going to stop me from wanting to continue. I know we spoke about it earlier that there are a bunch of chunk accounts who have stopped playing or
Yeah.
stuff like
Mhm.
that. They start on a grind and they go, oh yeah, I'm going to do this really hard grind, and then 2 weeks later they're gone. They never come back. But
Yeah.
even the Herblore grind, I don't see myself thinking, oh, that's too tough. I don't have a feeling of, that's the point I give up or anything like that. I don't feel like that at all. So I think it will be
I agree.
okay.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I mean, that also ties in with like, what resources are you getting, I guess per hour, or like what type of resources you're getting to train this skill, because for you, you probably have better resources entering your bank than me. All I have is a unicorn that spawns every 30 seconds to a minute. And then I don't have, then I have whatever herbs I have to play with. So I can only literally make three type of potions in my chunk.
I
Ones
can't
that I have
make
unlocked.
I can't make any potions in my chunk without the random spawn of the Cyclosis. If Cyclosis didn't spawn, there would be 0 potions I could ever make. Actually, that's not true. I'm not lying, but it's not true. It's actually there's 2 potions I can make, and I've made both of them. I can make the strength potion or super strength potion. Those are doable
Mhm.
because of Cyclosis. He has a
Right.
rare drop of 5 limpwort roots, and he'll drop those for me very, very rarely. Now, like I said, I've killed almost 41.5k Cyclops with a 1 in 50 chance of a Cyclosis spawning. And if I have a look at my drop log, I think I've had a total of 55. So that is 11 times that I've had the drop in 41k kills. Okay, 41k kills, I had 11 drops of Limpwort Roots, which is nothing compared to the amount of
Yeah,
kills.
that's yeah.
But then there's one other potion I can make, and this one is extremely rare. In my chunk, in my first chunk, my very first chunk, and maybe it was you who told me about this. Was it you? I can't remember.
I don't
It
remember.
was one of the newer chunkers anyway. It was either you or one of the other newer ones. Um, who said you can make a magic potion using the imps, the beads from the imps, the magic bead.
I think that was noob.
Oh, maybe it was Noob who told me then. Okay, yeah. In any case, someone said to me, yeah, you can make that. And there is a imp. There's a single imp who very, very rarely appears in the southeastern corner of my first chunk. He wanders in from southern Tavali somewhere. I don't know how he gets there, but I've only seen him since I started the account a year ago. I've been playing for a year, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah,
Congrats.
it started in September last year, so actually a little bit more than a year now.
Nice. I'm halfway there.
It takes time, but
Yeah.
you know that's what a chunk account is. But yeah, no, in the whole year, I've seen him 3 times. I've seen that imp 3 times in 1 year.
That's crazy.
Okay, and one of those imps dropped a magic bead. One of them. And because of that one magic bead I got, I was able to make a magic potion. And I made a magic potion which reduced my magic grind from 92 down to 88. Because the magic potion gives me a much better boost than the Wizard's Mind Bomb beer, which I could buy in my first chunk. Which my original plan was to use that beer for a +3 boost to cast Fire Surge, so I wouldn't have to get 95 magic. I was going to go for 92, but now I only need 88, which is just a massive drop in XP.
Yeah, that's a lot of XP that you don't have to grind.
Yeah, I mean, what's that? It's the difference between a total of 6 mil XP or 4 mil XP, so it's 2 million XP that I don't have to get.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
great.
it's definitely a lot of time, yeah.
And especially as I can't train magic on Cyclops.
That's right, because they're immune to it.
They're immune to magic and ranged.
Yeah, we spoke about that I think a while ago.
Yeah, that's right. And so that's the thing. I'm going to have to just kill trolls again. But there is a silver lining to that story, which is that the trolls do drop a lot of herbs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Those trolls next to the monthly D&D don't have a lot of drops.
Yeah, they drop a lot of herbs. I was getting an average of half an inventory of herbs per trip. Okay, so whoa. 14 herbs every time I came back to the bank. Which is why I have, like almost 30 mil value worth of herbs in the bank right now.
Yeah, I think that the trolls are a lot better than men and women.
Yeah.
When it comes to dropping herbs.
Yeah, I mean, but they also don't drop some of the other garbage that men and women drop. I think like men and women also drop maybe, I'm guessing either salvage or like bronze weapons or something. No.
They drop a two salvage, one spiky and one plate, and they drop the fishing bait. They drop bronze and bolt arrows.
Ah, yeah. See, that's the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel the things there that don't really like matter, like the copper tin spirits, the copper tin spirits, or the one of those two, if I'm not mistaken. But it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, so they don't drop any of that stuff. They drop a lot of like meat and they drop sandwiches. They drop rabbit sandwiches. They drop meat. I've got a lot of raw beef, a lot of raw chickens. They drop cabbages, tomatoes. They drop potatoes. They drop a lot of seeds as well, potato seeds, sweet corn seeds.
Oh, that's good then for farming.
Yeah. So I mean, I have 13k potato seeds, and that's quite a bit.
That's very good.
I haven't turned off my prayer. And so I got all of that, which is really good. The maging trolls, the trolls who use mage, they drop air runes, so I have 40k air runes because of those.
Okay.
The ones who use range drop bronze arrows, so I have 6k bronze arrows.
Yeah, so they drop quite a bit of stuff for you
yeah,
to train all the skills and whatnot, which is good.
yeah. I mean, I don't really need any air runes anymore. Hey, look at that. Dragon Defender, finally. Been a bit dry lately.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't need any air runes anymore because I got that air staff from the Premier Club token.
Which air stuff is that?
Okay, so if I don't know, have you got Premier Club?
I don't have it right now.
Okay.
That's the thing that I was gonna ask you too. Are they still doing the reduced price and stuff like that yearly whenever they promote it, or is that all year around now?
I don't think it's I guess it is a reduced price, isn't it? Yeah, I think that they are doing it all year round. You can get Premier Club at any time. Easiest way for me is I use 20 bonds. 20 bonds.
Right.
I have 8 saved up right now, 8 bonds. I need save up another 12, which is I'm hoping that some people might go bossing with me on my main and we go kill some stuff and get some money, but and also bonds are so expensive right now.
Man, bonds are. Listen, I bought 28 bonds.
28 bonds.
20 bonds. I bought them because I saw that they were rising in price. Crazily rising in price, and I was like, this is not normal, right? So I bought 28 bonds. It started at 56 mil, which was the G price.
Yeah.
And it went all the way up to 70 mil per bond.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think that the bonds are gonna keep rising, especially with all this GP entering the game, and especially after Fresh Start Worlds ends.
Yeah.
All that extra GP is gonna come. Yeah, it's gonna bump up the prices of the bonds. So
yeah, I'm worried about that.
It's gonna be harder to get bonds if you pay your premium like that.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be better for people that are selling the bonds because they make some money out of it, but it's rough. It really is rough.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment I'm hoping that I will do a few ambassador kills because I have a bunch of death touch darts, and so that's easy to kill them. And if I go, and I think one Chunky said he has about 8 of them, 8 of those darts, so we can kill a good 10 or 12 ambassadors, because I think I have 3 or 4 of those. And if we just get one good drop, that's a good bit more than a bill in a drop. So that might
would definitely give you a lot of bonds.
Yeah, that should just pay off a whole lot of membership time. And
that's what I was doing in my main too. I was going there because I had a bunch of darts.
Yeah.
And I was just going and then just dropping it in the ambassador, but I haven't been lucky enough to get a drop yet.
No, I never had a drop yet either, and I think I've wasted a good 30 or so darts in there. So I think it's almost
darts.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I got quite a few from the raffle. There's the raffle with the golden ticket thingy, and you can win 5 darts at once, something like that.
Yeah.
And I think I won that 2 or 3 times over the last couple of years.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, I always save up a whole lot of those tickets over a few days, and I just threw a whole lot in there at once and won them a couple of times. But yeah, it was really sad that I've been there so many times and just gotten garbage. It's been really, really bad.
Yeah, it's either you make it, you make it big,
yeah, or you get
just
nothing.
It just scraps the leftovers.
Yeah,
just was eating or something. It's so bad.
Yeah, you get something or you get nothing. There's no in between. It's not like, oh well, I got something that's that's 20 mil or something. It's like, nah. You get a bill or you get 100K.
That's so bad.
It's really bad, yeah.
I wanted to ask you. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've spoken about this with your viewers, but I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to start the Chick account?
Well, Limpwort did actually. Limpwort, the old school Irish chunker, is the one
Mm-hmm.
who inspired me, and the reason he inspired me is because he mentioned that he's autistic and I'm autistic, and
Okay.
for a long time, I had. I mean, I have my main account. It took me 16 years to max my main account.
Wow.
Yeah, and the reason it took me so long is because I have a lot of trouble with choice and you know, math is a big problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, choice is a big problem for me. I don't really like a lot of change and things like that. And what happens is when I start on a skill, there would always be something that would make me feel like, ah, shit, I have to change to a different training method, or I have to figure out how to train better, or do it in a more economical way, or a way that's faster, or way
Right.
that's going to make me money. And I have all these different choices and all these different ways, and changing between them was really rough uh,
Mm-hmm.
for me in terms of my condition being that I a lot of these things don't sit well with me mentally. And when it came to the point that he said, like, hey, I'm autistic, and so I can sit here for hours on end doing the same thing and it's no problem, and I thought, hey, that sounds like something I could do. And I really like playing RuneScape, and I played it for many, many years.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, it took me 16 years to max my main account.
It's a long time.
Yeah, yeah. And even then, like, there's a lot of things where I go, like, I should go again, like I should go kill Ambassador. It took me ages to try and figure out how to do Ambassador. And for years, even though there's been many, many good bosses out and money-making methods,
Mm-hmm.
I killed Barrows over and over again, even though it's worthless. Like it's not very good money. And I don't
Wait,
mean
barrels?
Barrows. Yeah, on RuneScape 3, I killed Barrows for years and years. I haven't
No
even
way.
completed the drop log yet, but I've killed a lot of Barrows. Um,
Oh, no way. How many kills do you have in barrels?
I think because I always kill every single brother, including
Mm-hmm.
the two new ones. So that's
Yeah.
8 kills. I've killed all of them over 800 times.
Okay.
Um, since the counter has started, because they didn't have the counter before to count how many times you killed things. And before that, so
Right.
my current counter is something like 880 or something like that. But before that, just for years, I was just always going to Barrows and killing Barrows because I had gotten used to it, and I didn't really like the idea of changing to a different boss or anything like that. And so that's
Okay.
the same thing.
Fair
Like
enough.
now, I mean, doing the same kills, killing Cyclops over and over again. I don't have to make any changes. I don't have to, you know, maybe there's a better training method, or maybe this is better, or that thing. I don't have any of that. 2 Dragon Defenders in a row. Nice.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
at 808 Dragon Defenders in total. Then that just made it really, really good for me. And when I saw that Limpert was doing that and I watched what he was doing, I thought, yeah, that looks like a really good idea for me, and I want to try it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, he inspired me to use my autism uh, for a chunk account. I mean, I don't know if that's for the good of humanity or not, or what, but at the very least, I like it.
No, no, definitely. I mean, I feel like the people that play RuneScape or have played it for a very long time
Yeah.
um, have like a special bond to the game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And it's not like that they can't put it down. It's more like you enjoy playing the game so much that you rather just play this game than anything else.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's one of those things that there have been times where I've tried to take breaks from RuneScape, and
Definitely, yeah.
I've ended up coming back. I've just something sparked in my mind to say, hey, what about RuneScape? Oh shit, yeah, I haven't played that for a while. I should definitely play that. And then I start playing it again, and I get completely stuck in it again. And it's great. I mean, it's a game that I really enjoy to play and to do all the different things. But at the same time, one of the things that really screwed me over with RuneScape for many years was that there were just so many choices, and I could
Right.
never find a way to kind of settle on one choice to say let's just train this way, and that's how I'll get my what's it called? I'll get my level up, or get my next unlock, or do something. But that's also why I really enjoyed quests in the game. I done all the quests. I got the quest cape all the time, and it
Oh,
was because
nice.
there was just a single path. There was nothing as to say,
Mm-hmm.
well, look, if you do the quest this way, you get something else. If you could do the quest a different way, you get another thing, and then you have to think of all these choices. There was nothing like that. It was just follow the story from beginning to the end. You don't have to, make a decision that might impact something, and you don't know how that's going to turn out. And yeah, and with my condition, it was just always like, that was a lot easier for me to handle. So that's
Yeah,
why.
it was very linear.
Yeah, yeah. And I do like that. When there's not too many choices, it makes it a lot easier for me to just to do it. To do the whole thing, and that's why it's so good for me to play RuneScape. And yeah, that's the whole reason. Now, how about yourself? What inspired you to do a chunk account?
I've been watching junk accounts
Hmm.
when they first started in OSRS. I don't know if you remember who the grandfather is or whatever, but it's actually the person that founded the chunk chat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's her.
Okay.
So she started the sorry, not she. He started the I think that's him because that's the same picture that I think he has in his YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. It could be wrong, but
Okay.
yeah, I started watching him right from the
Yeah.
very first episode that he posted, and I was like, this is such a clever way to play the game.
Yeah.
It's completely different from what we've seen. Because by the time we had Ironmans and hardcore Ironmans,
Mhm.
but we had nothing like this, right? That you were constricted to one chunk out of the entire map, and you had to complete everything in the chunk possible for you to roll to expand to other chunks, right?
Yeah.
Or parts of the map. Yeah, that had never been done before, and when I first saw this, I was like, this is genius, right? And then from there on, it just, I started watching Limproof. I
Yeah.
watched Birth. I watched Slave Brother, and I've watched many other people that have uh, done different things with the
Sure.
chunk like idea, and they switched that around the monk one. That if your prayer drops outside of the chunk that you haven't rolled, then you
Yeah.
have to start. You have to drop everything in your inventory and start from knowledge again.
Oh.
Things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all those different game modes are actually very very cool, and that's what inspired me to be like, I think it's time that I bring this to RS3 instead of just OSRS where it's so saturated already, but we
Yeah.
have nothing like that in RS3,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and that's what inspired me, and I was like, I'm gonna do it, and then that's where I stumbled upon you guys in the Discord chat, and I was like, I can't believe there's people that actually
Doing
play
that.
play this way in RS3, and I was like, that's crazy. So that's where when I joined, then I started talking and asking questions, and that's where we all met, and here we are today,
Yeah.
six months later.
It's really great. I mean, I had watched. How do I get rid of this? Like that. I had been watching like other games that had people, imposing their own sort of restrictions and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of that kind of stuff, it was a bit too like I didn't have any interaction in that. I felt like it was quite in comparison to this, it sounds strange to say it. Even thinking it makes me think, should I even say it? The other games that I've seen doing these kinds of grinds or these kinds of restrictions, a lot of them, in my opinion, seemed very, very much in order to make it look like, hey, I'm doing something so difficult, it's crazy, you know. And for me, for this, I don't feel like we're doing something so difficult it's crazy. It's more like there are so many ways to do things in this game that people never do. There's nobody in this game who has ever spent level 65 attack and strength to level 99 attack and strength purely on Cyclops. Like it's a possibility, you can do it, but nobody does it, right? Nobody does it. And it's not that it's particularly difficult to do, because killing Cyclops like this is so easy. I can AFK them really, really easily. It's not a problem at all. A lot of the other games where I see people putting in self-imposed restrictions, a lot of it feels like, if I play this, or if I play it a little bit wrong, or something happens, it's going to be so difficult for me, and it's going to be, torturous grind that nobody wants to do. Oh, it's so terrible.
Yeah.
But in this case, I feel like it's not so much a self-damaging game mode. It's not something where you're going to say, I'm having a real tough time. It's more just, sticking it out, lasting a long time, having patience, rather than self-torture, if that makes any sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because I feel like, I do feel like a lot of those other games, they are saying, the people who are playing them are saying, oh look, I've tortured myself with this game mode. Oh, it's so difficult. Oh, it's so bad for me. And I'm just like, okay, well, if it's not fun, if it seems like it's a hell grind where you don't like it, then I don't want to play that. Like, I don't want to play that game mode.
I agree. I 110% agree with you. And one of those games that I think you're talking about might be World of Warcraft, where they do the like the Ironman account, adventure type of way, where you only you don't do dungeons. The only items that you can equip are the items that you craft. You're able to craft or white items or gray items, whatever they call it. I think that's also like one of the ways that people play that game. And
yeah,
I think that might be like what you're referring to in that way as well.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, I was more thinking like some of these single player games, more like I see people doing some of the like the Pokemon games, things like that. They're doing that where they're like, I can only use a level 5 for the entire game, and I have to figure out a way to do this, or no, not allowed to gain any experience and finish the game and things like that. And I'm just like, well, maybe they enjoy it, but at the same time, I feel like you're putting yourself through so much extra work.
That sounds like torture.
Yeah, that it doesn't sound like it's something that could be enjoyable, or could be, because it's not something that you can AFK. It's something that you have to be really paying attention to the whole time. Make sure that you don't make a mistake. I made a mistake. I have to restart, or I have to reload my save. I have to redo all this stuff again. And in the case of like a chunk account on RuneScape, okay, if I step outside the chunk by a single step or something silly like that, it's not like, oh well, it's the end of the chunk account, it's game over sort of thing. That's not how it goes. And so there's a lot of different things as to say, I'm not trying to do this to make myself feel pain. I'm not trying to be, masochistic or anything like that. Yeah, I'm just trying to do something in a more difficult way, where by the end of it, I've done it differently to everybody else.
Yeah.
And like I've seen some, like I said, I've seen some of those on YouTube where I've just been like, that sounds like you have to really not only have to focus really hard, but you have to spend. Oh, there's a kingly impling just going past here. You little bastard! I can't catch you, but I wish I could. Um, yeah, like there's a lot of those things where I just think to myself, you've really made it um, almost entirely for views on YouTube or something like that to say, oh, I've hurt myself so badly with this grind or with this way of playing the game. And I
Yeah,
think,
come watch me suffer type of thing.
yeah, watch me suffer, exactly. And that's the thing I think is different with the RuneScape grind, where it's not particularly suffering. It's more having patience. It's an easy grind. It just takes a
Mm-hmm.
long time.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't had any time killing Cyclops so far where I've been like, oh, I have to be really careful that I don't get killed. Maybe the very first time I entered there, but when very first time I entered the Cyclops room, I came in with a halberd, and I could stand behind a post and, hit them from 2 squares away, so they couldn't even hit me anyway.
Okay.
So I was completely safe. There was nothing to say like, oh, maybe I'll die. I was completely safe. I made sure I was safe the whole time. And I've never had a time in this grind, in the chunk grind, where I've said, if I do something like this or I do something like that, it's going to ruin the entire account and I have to start from scratch and I have to do everything again. Like if I go one step over the chunk border, I don't really care, as long as I don't do anything that gains me XP or gains me any kind of increase,
Advantage.
or any
Yeah.
advantage or anything, yeah. And because I don't do that, I don't have to worry about that. I just feel like it's so much more relaxed.
Definitely. I definitely agree. Yeah. A lot of the grinds in the game are just time gated. They're not really difficult.
Yeah.
It just takes a long time, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. And just there's some people that do see it as like, oh,
You're
it's
torturing yourself.
annoying, or it's gonna take so long that I'm gonna get bored of it, or I'm just torturing myself with this, But it's just perspective.
Yeah, no,
Because,
exactly. But yeah, that's probably the biggest thing for me with the chunk grind on RuneScape is it's less choice, it's more relaxed, and there's no reason to worry at all. And of course, the community's pretty good. So far, I've been in one chat. I joined one clan chat as a guest, and a guy in there was so upset with me, and I don't know what his problem was, but he was getting so upset with me. He's saying, "Why didn't you start in the wilderness for your chunk account? Is it because you're a coward and you can't handle any kind of tough challenges and stuff like that?" I'm like, dude, I've killed. That was when I was just finished with the trolls. I said I've just killed 28k level 1 trolls to get 65 attack and strength. I think I can handle a little bit of a challenge. He's like, nah, you suck and you're bad and this and that. And he was getting really upset because I didn't start in the wilderness where he could come and attack me and kill me. And that's what he said. He said, you should come to the wilderness so we can fight and I'll show you, I'll kill you and all this. And I was like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. But, I had that one experience. And I had one other experience, which was right in the beginning. A really funny one. I don't think I've spoken about it yet in a video. I just started and I was killing the rabbits. And I think I had gotten to like 25 attack or something. I was still busy there killing rabbits. And a dude walks up to me and he speaks to me in Portuguese. And I can't speak Portuguese. I don't know. I could recognize the language by, how it looks, but I can't read it. I don't know what it says. Put it into Google Translate. And he says something like, what the fuck are you doing killing these pieces of shit? They're way better money makers. Come with me, friend, or something like that. You know, and he was trying to show me, he wanted to show me a way to go make money. I'm like, no, but I just said to him in English, but I like killing rabbits. And then he said, haha, you're funny, dude. You know, and then I think he was asking me something like, you know, can I be your friend? Can we talk together on Skype or something like this? And I was like, no, let's not do that. But it was really funny. Like this guy, I'm guessing he was doing some kind of gold farming or something like that. You know, speaking to me in Portuguese, and yeah, and it was just really funny. He was telling me I should go find a better way to make money.
That's funny. That's funny. Let me ask you. Going back to the question as to what inspired you to
yeah, go ahead.
you know, in your Twitter account. Why RS3 and why not OSRS?
That's pretty simple. When RuneScape 2 turned into RuneScape 3.
Good memories. Good memories.
Yeah. When RuneScape 2 turned into RuneScape 3 with the what can I say?
EOC?
Yeah, I was going to say the natural disaster that is called EOC. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but
it was really bad when it first came out. I agree.
And even now, like, you know, it's okay, but still, it's not the same. I mean, I understand that from the perspective of people who play old school right now. I completely understand their feelings, their perspective, and in fact, if it had never changed, it would have been completely fine for me. But unfortunately, it did change, and of course, my account from back then was, of course, then an RS3 account because everybody's account became an RS3 account. You had no choice in the matter, and I mean, my account already existed, and I had started it. My main account, like I said, I started it 16 years ago, so it's an old account, and I never maxed it until I maxed my account maybe 6 months before I started this Chunk account.
Oh wow! So that's recent.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever maxed an account, and it was only because, you know, there was so much of this pay to win stuff in there. It's a main account, so it has access to everything.
Right.
And you know, and so I got all of the, what do they call, all the lamps and the stars and all this kind of shit for bonus experience and all those kinds of things. And I finally maxed it, and I was like, okay, I still got that account. And I in that time, in those maybe 1 year, 6 months that I spent finally maxing my account using all of these things, I got to the point where I was just like, you know, I've had enough of that. But I had gotten used to playing RuneScape 3.
Okay.
And to change, after I saw Limpwert's videos, to change to old school was just too much of a change, too much of a difference that I had already gotten used to RS3. I didn't want to relearn RuneScape. I wanted to just continue with what I had already done. And there's also been a lot of changes in old school since the 2007 days. Like, they started it as 07 RuneScape, and they've added, you know, new areas and new different training methods and things like that. And I haven't been there for those updates, for those changes. So a lot of those things I'd really have to do a whole lot of studying to understand exactly what it all is. And because, like I said, I had gotten used to RS3 again. I mean, I got 99 in what's it called, archaeology and all that stuff. Because I had maxed everything on here, I kind of said, oh, that's it. You know, I might as well stick to RS3. I don't want to switch to old school because it's much too different. It's much too different for me, and I can't I'm not good with big changes, unfortunately. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a big change. Not only in combat styles, but it's also I feel like it's also a little bit of a different play style as well. Um,
Mm.
and that ties in into efficiency, which I want to ask you about that later as well.
Sure.
But it definitely is. I mean, of course, the main thing that drives you is the combat, because old school's combat is it's just auto attacking. It's more idle, right? Than RS3 is, in the term that you just click once and you just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
RS3 does have the what's it called, the revolution bar that
Yes.
does attack for you, but there's a little bit more of combination with skills that you need to also put in the bar so they function well.
Yeah. Yeah. A little bit of strategy.
Yeah, and that's probably the main difference. If you also don't like the graphics for whatever reason and whatnot, that can also put you off. But yeah, I mean, I think that OSRS, if RS3 still had the combat that OSRS has,
Yeah.
like if it was never changed, like how you said, it was probably be still fine. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
see a problem that OSRS is having now that nobody's talking about it, but that we've been having RS3 for a very long time, and that's Switch Cape, and that they are slowly creeping up to it, and and I don't like Switch Cape. In my opinion, I hate it. I think that having several different weapons in your inventory and armors just to go kill one boss, it's a little bit crazy in my opinion. But the 1% of players think otherwise. But OSRS is turning into that as well, little, and I was thinking of logging into my OSRS account,
Sure.
and I'm playing a little bit, but after I saw that, that pulled me off, because we already have that here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we are already dealing with that here, like high PVM or whatever, and it's not as enjoyable as it should be. Which supposedly they're tackling that on that, and hopefully they do. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually tried the new Zamorak boss. Have you been to that yet?
I have, but I have not killed it yet.
Okay.
I did the story. I think that's the only boss I need to kill to get my Reaper title back.
Okay.
I just haven't done it because it's lazy, I guess. It's also very, like, that's the thing too with RS3 that's different from OSRS, is that the bosses in RS3 are, I don't want to say more difficult, but they require a little bit more than just clicking.
Sure.
They every boss has their strategy or whatever.
Yeah.
OSRS and RS3. But like I couldn't, like, off the get-go, I couldn't do Zamorak on normal mode.
Okay.
And I'm not the best at PVM, but I know how it works. I know the ins and outs.
Sure.
And I couldn't do it. So that tells you something right there, that the game is getting harder, and the combat, it's what's the right word? I'm not sure if the word will be evolving, but it's definitely right for if you learn the combat well.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
It will take you very far. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, the thing I have trouble with, and it's probably the silliest thing to have trouble with, is I have always had trouble on my main, is that when I do get to the point where I'm able to push myself to try different boss that I don't usually kill, I can't find myself killing a boss without overpowered gear.
Yeah.
That is to say, I won't go to a boss unless I know my gear is so powerful that the chance of me failing at the boss is almost zero. Like, I had a certain point where I got really into trying the corporeal beast, and he's just
Oh,
a pushover
yes.
in RS3.
Yeah, he is. It's definitely a pushover. All you need to do is put down your quarter coil or the cannon,
Yeah.
and you just sit there with melee, masterwork armor, and a spear, and you just melt them. That's all he does.
Yeah,
He's basically just a big chunk of HP.
but even then, like I don't have I have a cannon, but I don't have masterwork armor. I made
Okay.
it, but I never equipped it because I wanted to trim it, and I'm shit at Nex, so I haven't got any of the stuff from Nex, and I haven't got any of the stuff from the the new barrows thing that they have. You got to get all those things to trim it, and I never make enough money to trim stuff, so I just left it. But I mean, I even just went in there with my ports, my ports armor, which is a good tank armor.
Yeah.
And just went in there with a spear and just kill it really easily. But in the beginning, like before I went there, I went scouring guides and all different kinds of things. Like I would not go in that room with the corporeal beast without knowing that I have gear that is strong enough to absolutely murder this thing, rather than like walk in there and like have a challenge and okay, I finally killed it sort of thing. I didn't want to have that. Like I didn't want to have to risk anything. I just wanted to walk in there and just kill it and done, you know. And that's a problem I have with any boss in RuneScape is I hate the idea that I have to risk a whole bunch of good stuff. I don't
Mhm.
mind using good stuff as long as I can be sure that like by using this good stuff I'm gonna win. Like I'm gonna kill it.
Right.
And so I always have to have better gear than what you usually would use. Like most of the guides say a cheap setup for Corp is a Zamorak spear,
Mhm.
and I would not do it with a Zamorak spear because it was like, yeah, you can do it, it's doable, and you know if you've got the skill, you can probably kill it pretty easily.
Yeah.
But
But
it's not good enough for me, so I got the Mizuyari, which is the spear from one of the
okay.
dungeons, I think.
Yeah, from 81. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's that? Level 85.
85.
Compared,
Yeah.
yeah, compared to the level 70, I think it is 75 for the Zamorak spear, so 10 levels higher. And
Yeah, it's a big bump in accuracy.
yeah, and I've added a whole bunch of invention stuff to it and made it all good. But without that, I would not go to Corp.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
So you know
Um,
that's my problem with bosses.
yeah, no, I definitely agree. Austin said the Switchcape is fun for mastery-driven players, not so much for achievement-driven players. This is true.
Yep, that's
Um,
true. Yep.
that's very true because even though I don't like Switchcape, I do it every time I pick a boss
Oh, of
because
course.
it's necessary.
Absolutely.
Right? It's
Absolutely.
necessary. So yes, I do agree with what Austin said. Um,
Yep.
I am both a driven player, a mastery driven player, and a achievement driven player. I try to do both. Try to keep balance on those two
Mhm.
spectrums.
Mhm.
But let's touch on efficiency, which is what I wanted to talk to you about as well.
Yeah, of course.
And how do you prefer to play the game best? Is it to be as efficient as possible, or is it to be as enjoyable as possible to you? That could be like AFK, the rock crabs until you get 99, right? Even though it's
Yeah.
not efficient, but that's the way that you enjoy to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's unfortunately for me, it's quite a difficult one to answer because um, efficiency can mean a couple of different things because you know, especially these days for me, I have a lot less time to put focused time into RuneScape. Okay, so I don't have enough time to say, okay, let's sit here for 2 hours. Let's try doing a difficult boss. You know, it might take it takes a lot of focus. You have to be paying attention the whole time. I can't just click and leave it, sort of thing. I have a daughter. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I have a wife who wants me to do stuff as well. I have a house I have to look to clean. I have a job. I have all these different things, and I don't have so much time for that focused play, right? So there may be an efficient way which you can do if you can focus on what you're doing. But if you want to talk about efficiency in terms of speed or efficiency in terms of what you're able to do, you know, like you said, like AFKing at mud crabs may be slower, but it may be more efficient in terms of if I can be AFK, if I can leave my character there while I quickly run off and tend to my kid or do something, you know, cook some food while I have it on mobile and I don't have to pay attention. For me, that would be extremely efficient.
Right.
Because I would be able to continue training. I'd be able to continue getting XP even without looking. But there may be a much faster way of getting XP which requires my focus. But of course, I don't have the time for that. So in terms of efficiency, if you were to say, do I prefer faster XP or do I prefer consistent XP? I mean, I think for me, as long as it's something where I can take my eyes off the screen for a few minutes, I would go for consistent XP, absolutely. But then when it comes to playing the game in general, I like to play the game. I like to play the game in a way where it's something similar to what you mentioned earlier about editing videos, actually. I like playing the game to a point where something good happens and it feels rewarding.
Right. Yeah.
Whether it's efficient or not, I don't really put the focus on that unless there's something I really need. So let's say I really need, what's a good example? I need 95 magic so I can do Fire Surge. And if I have Fire Surge, I can kill Krill, Zami, God Wars Dungeon 1 much easier because he's weak. It's you know, easier to mage him, you know, for example.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't really care so much how I got that XP, but as long as I would work towards it in a certain way that I say, well, I've finally done it. Now let's go kill the boss. Hey, that was way easier because I have a better spell now. That's my way. That's the way I like to play. I like to play the way that I say, okay, I want to do something. I find a good way of doing it. I stick to that way because I don't like to change stuff up. And then go and kill that boss or do that thing I want to do, you know? That's the way I like to play. Regardless of the kind of efficiency that we really work on with that.
Yeah, so you enjoy more playing for your own fun and your own.
Yeah, I mean, I
instead
don't.
of playing for.
Yeah, I don't care about high scores, and I don't care about, you know, the way that people do things so much. You know, if everyone says, well, if you're gonna do this boss, you got to wear this armor and you got to wear that weapon and you got to do it this way. Like, I don't really care so much about that, or you know, or the way that people look at the high scores and say, oh, you know, I got 99, so that's great. You know, I'm like, okay, I got 99 because I need it.
Right.
And then I got that 90. When I got that, it was enjoyable. You know, I achieved something. So that's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
How about yourself?
I also do like to play. Yeah, I also do like to play the game my own way. Right. Let's call it that because at the end of the day, it's you having fun your own way.
Yeah.
So I've been known for doing extremely ridiculous, stupid grinds.
Sure.
And by that I mean, for example, cutting going from 99 wood cutting to 120,
Yeah.
just cutting elder logs.
Oh, okay, that's pretty. Yeah, that's a harsh grind. Yeah.
Yeah, so that took me like a year and so.
Mm-hmm.
And like my clanmates know me as the elder god or whatever they want to call me. But it's pretty funny that that they were there since day one, since I logged into the not logged in, but since I joined the clan.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna do this, and you guys can pass by every now and then and say hi, and they will pass by and say hi, and they were like, you're crazy for doing this, you know. You could be getting more experience an hour or more money doing something else, and I was like, no, because this is the way that I like to play the game. This is what makes me happy, doing this in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing, like I said, with me doing barrows. Like the current kill count is like 880 or something, but I think before the counter was installed, I think I probably killed a good 5,000 or 6,000 barrows brothers. Just
that's a lot, man.
Yeah, but just it's one of those things where you can say, well, this is the way I want to play it. This is how I want to do it, and that's what I did. And same thing, for you got your elder logs, and that's how you did it. That was it.
Yep. I also did something very stupid, and I should have done it because I knew myself. I knew that I wasn't gonna go through it, but I bought like a bunch of uncut diamond gems.
Yeah.
So I can craft them doing double experience, so I could get to 120 crafting.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying everything. I ended up moving people around the clan to buy me stuff because I was, I was preparing for that.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, I ended up sitting on the Priv harp.
Yeah.
Just to get 120.
Ah.
So it was definitely a lot slower, but it was definitely the way that I like to play the game, and it was a lot more enjoyable to me that way than sitting in a craftable, portable, clicking every 25 seconds. Because I needed to be paying attention for now. I was wasting my time. It felt like the harp was the way to go.
Fair enough. How many elder logs did you end up with, by the way?
I ended up with, if I'm not mistaken, I have a picture somewhere in my phone.
Well, approximately. Approximately.
Yeah, approximately from 99 to 120 it should be around 120,000 logs.
That's a lot. There. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. I can tell you. How do I do that? Do I go to this one? This one. Elder
the logs
log.
were selling. Yeah, I mean the logs weren't selling for how much they're selling now. They're selling for like 2K less.
Okay, so now they're at 9.5K.
Yeah, they were selling for like 7K or something like that. They were selling back.
Okay, so let's say 7K times 120,000 logs, right? 7,000 times 120,000. That's 840 mil. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, actually, I made more than that. I made around, because they would fluctuate a lot. The other logs weren't sometimes they wouldn't sell for that price, and I was selling them in bulks for like 20K, 30K, 40K, right? That's how much I sold them for. And they would fluctuate a lot. So I sold some for 8K, I sold some for 7K, I sold some for even 10K at some points. So I made around like 1.2 bill. There was when I finished that grind.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I ended up paying for like a lot of like the armors, and when Torva was expensive at the time, and Pernix and Virtus was very expensive. I ended up paying for those armors and stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do a really ridiculous grind, but for finishing off maxing my main last year, mining was one of the final ones. I think my last three skills to max were fire making, fletching, and I think maybe hunter.
Okay.
Because I didn't enjoy those skills. I didn't enjoy fire making or fletching, so I didn't train them. But then I think maybe the last 5 would have been in mining and smithing, and then those 3. So I thought, well, I should probably make masterwork. I should probably make masterwork armor. So I mined literally all of the ore I needed for masterwork. And then I smelted all of the things I needed for masterwork, and I made all of that for 99. And it was really interesting because, like, I think it was the last 50k or something, 50k experience before hitting 99 smithing. I got the smithing pet.
Oh, nice.
So just before hitting 99. I wasn't going for the pet, but I got it. So that was quite cool. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to like buy all of the ores for the masterwork. I went and made sure I mined literally everything. I try and do as much as of the grinds when I do grinds. When I was doing grinds on my main, I don't do anymore. But when I was doing that, I tried my best to get as much of the materials, the resources, whatever, as I could by myself without having to buy it. I didn't really like the idea of like going to the Grand Exchange and buying, you know, like you said, like 1 million uncut diamonds and then just cutting them for 99 crafting.
Yeah. Well, 120. I was going for 120 crafting.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Even 120.
Yeah.
So yeah. So when I did, like even when I did crafting, I think I killed, you know, a good 6 or 7k. King Black Dragons and Queen Black Dragons. I killed a few thousand of those as well, just for the hides and make all the hides into armors. And
right.
I did all that like by myself. I didn't want to go buying everything, and I thought that was just a bit too easy.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I do tend to play my main like an Ironman sometimes. Because of the same reason. I don't like to. It's not that I don't like to like buy stuff from the G, because that's what makes me the money.
Sure.
But I do like to go ahead and craft and gather the raw resources and, you know, process them, I guess you say. Like how you did with the masterwork. I did this exact same thing with the masterwork. I made it into masterwork, then trim masterwork, and then custom fitted. The whole thing. Myself. I didn't go to the G and buy anything. I just went and I mined all the ores, and I went to that and I smelted them all, and I did the whole thing. And it was great, and it felt great. It felt a lot better than going to the G and just buying everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I finally finished all that damn smithing, because masterwork is a piece of garbage to smith, but when I finished all that, I was like, yes, I don't have to do this anymore. I hated the progress. Like, I hated that it was barely visible progress. Like, every time you had to hit the pieces of metal, you know, you had to 1,000 times, you had to fold it 1,000 times for each of them.
That was horrible.
If there was some more progress, like even if they had made it more steps, but half as many, so then it would be half as much work per step. If you only had to do 500 hits per thing, it would feel a lot better because it would seem like you're progressing somewhere, but you have to hit it 1,000 times, and because the progress is so little, it just feels like you're not doing anything.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree with that.
And so that was annoying, but I was happy when I finished it, so that was good.
Yeah, a lot of... That's the thing about RuneScape in general, OSRS and OS3, that whenever you finish like a long grind, whether you're going for max on an account, or like, you know, certain level on a skill, or 99, or you're going for a boss log, or for a slayer log, or for something of those, like, that takes you a long grind, that's going to take a long time. After you finish that, it's the most rewarding thing ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep, I love that a lot. That's one of the big things for me as well.
Yeah, I do have more questions here, but I do want to leave it for next.
Yeah.
Stream and stuff.
That's a good idea. Yeah, and it's we've already been talking for quite a long time. So,
we have.
And I should probably go have some lunch. Actually, it's almost lunchtime over here. So I think we might end the stream here, and we'll talk again in the future.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
All right then. Well then, I will just leave the Cyclops room, and I will get ready to say goodbye. So then, everybody, thank you for joining us, and anyone who watches this stream in the future, I do hope you enjoy our little chat. We will likely do this again in the near future. Thank you very much,
For sure.
Yoni, for joining. I'm happy to have had you.
Anytime.
And anybody else, so I said it already twice in the stream, but if anybody would like to, and I really hope you do, go check out Yoni's channel. I've put a link in the description of this live stream. Please go check it out, have a look at all his videos, subscribe to him, do whatever you can. He's really good at making videos, and I'm not. So, thanks for joining.
I'm not that good.
Okay, he's a lot better than me at making videos. We'll say it that way. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining. I will see you again in the future, and goodbye.
Goodbye, guys.